right, hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in again. We are back with another Authors Impact Hub, our author Q&As. I am your host, Juanita Woodson, founder of the Authors Impact Hub. So we've been going really strong all across the US with our author Q&As. I'm super excited that our episodes are even being heard internationally, right? So in Mexico, in South Africa, in the UK. So we are being heard, right? That's great news for the authors that are coming on and sharing their journeys. So tonight we have, or today we have one of our community members on with us, Miss Cheryl Lynne. I always let the authors give their own introduction. I don't think anybody can say who they are better than you. So I'm going to pass the floor to you. If you could just let us know briefly your name and where you are from and a little bit about your background.
Okay, well, I want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity. And
Yes.
again, my name is Cheryl Lynne. My government name is Cheryl Miller. I am a mother of five, a yaya of two. I'm engaged to my love of my life. I am an advocate for the children and families for the Philadelphia and Delaware for almost 10 plus years. I am also a relationship enhancing coach, aka, life coach. I own my own business. Um, and I'm off and off, I am a prayer warrior.
Yes, yes, right. We can't wear those other hats well without being prayer warriors. So I love that. So, Miss Cheryl, you have a new book coming out very soon. Can you let us know the title of that book?
So that book is Embrace Me, the Real Me. And it's
Yes.
a workbook journal.
Okay. Yes. So can you share what inspired you to write Embrace Me, the real me, and how your journey led to the creation of the workbook?
Because of a lot of my self doubt, self esteem, my talk, I have a speech impediment. So I never was a talker because I was too scared that my voice never mattered.
Okay.
And after I got sick and I went on a spiritual journey, I was saying playing with God and not giving him the fullness of God
Yeah.
of me. And he actually set me down and I just told him just get rid of all this stuff. I just want the total you. When I really said yes to him, that's when the process started. And because of my self-esteem and because of the self-doubt of my speech, I to started writing more and more and more. And then when I started working with my children and my family in the activist side of it, I gave them workbook and I was like, I do this. I say I am. I say, I love my hair, I love my face, I love like all the scars and stuff in it. So I had to tell my truth, and they say I'm a great storyteller, but I'll just be me, the
Yes.
total me.
Yes, I love that. So in your book, so you're sharing a little bit about your own journey, but you're also breaking down some exercises so that the reader can start to discover who they are too. So what was it like creating those exercises?
Well, the first exercise is I don't want to give too much, but the first exercise is who are you? And it's not that, hi, my name is Cheryl. I'm, just like I introduce myself, you are more than that in the natural. And then I realized it as I was going through my journey, I'm more that in the spiritual. So once I find that out, I was like, wow, I'm more than that. Saying God said that you can be anything that you want to. Long as you have me in front and the back and the side. I always say now you get two things. You get a therapist, and as long as you have a therapist and Jesus, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
Yes, I love that. And do you think that this book, as they work through, you're sharing some of your own personal experiences, but you get them to talk a little bit about themselves. Do you think that this book will be some form of like therapy for the reader too?
I hope so, and I'm asking you those questions that was already on your mind. So I'm asking you some of those hard questions, like, are
Okay.
you, impulsive thinker? Saying what kind of person are you? You know,
Right.
and I'm start digging. I want you to start digging and like, do a check mark on yourself before you start blaming and shaming on somebody else. Start with inside of you.
Yeah.
Saying, and start changing you, because that's the only person that you're going to control is just
Yes. Definitely. And the best growth happens when we identify things that we need to change within us, right? We can't control what anybody else does, right? We can only control what it is that God has like shown us for ourselves. So I love that. So when we talk about changing ourselves, so what are some of the personal challenges that you faced on your own journey to uncovering your true self? And how did your faith and um your faith play a role in those challenges?
I had to start believing in myself. And
Mm,
again, it's that self-doubt. And I had I had a lot of trials and tribulations, so I had to narrow it down to one. And I started talking about my speech. And I, by accident, people put labels on you for no reason. And I realized that I was putting labels on myself that it doesn't even suppose I shouldn't even pick up those labels.
yes.
But God created to me from the head to the toe. So why? I was always asking why. And once I started really understanding who I am in Christ, and He made me in His purpose image, I understand that you know everybody have a disability. Some that you can see, some of them you can't see. But He did that for me. And then I was reading Saul, how Saul turned into Paul, Sarah versus Sarah. I said, wow, like he changed, if he could change that for them, he can do that for me.
Yeah.
Saying, and as long as I have his, and his word is his promise. So as long as I keep on telling him, you said that this is who I am,
Yeah.
break it. So it wasn't like I was healing, but now I can say I overcame. I'm completely whole. What I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because it does not bother me. Because every time I start talking about my disability, the more open, the doors was open for me. But
Yes.
I had to want it.
Yeah. And we have to step outside of like the fear, right? The fear of like rejection and the fear of what people may say when we start to like put those things that we wish nobody could see or hear on display, right? So it's like
Right.
overcoming fear and the imposter syndrome. So it's like this disability, God can use anything.
Yeah.
He can use anything, what someone labels as a disability, God, that's an ability to him. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Just stop running. Because when he
right.
wants you, he wants to sit you down.
Yes, and he will. So when we talk about like the challenges, right? So your disability almost like did it help develop this love for writing that you have, the love for writing and journaling?
Right. I can say, my mom helped me. I was like in a Catholic school, but my mom gave me my first pen and paper, and paper. She
Yeah.
was like, if you can't say it, you're gonna write it down. And I used to write the way I talk. So I was like the,
Okay.
the stuttering was coming out. So she started giving me it's a game called Boggle. She's like, well, if you can't say it, you're going to learn how to spell it. So she was already about words. And then she changed it to I had to read the book, then a movie, and then I had to write an essay.
Okay.
And
Yes.
I was like, oh, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Especially when I had my migraines. So I started, that's when I started writing even more.
All right, so we've heard a little bit about your background and how your disability has led to like you advocating for others, and it's developed also this love for writing that you have. So what were some of the challenges that you faced when you decided like, hey, I'm going to turn this into a book that I'm going to publish and put out there for others to read?
Oh, I had a lot of that. But I had this book for almost 5 years, and I just thought, I just had it in a book, and it was just for me. And you gave me a lot of stress, and it was like, you need to go deeper. And I'm like, no, it's okay. And she's like, no, it's more to it. And even though I knew that God told me to do it, but I was like, no, I like it the way it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to explain it, but I was scared that I was going to pop. It's like a rubber band, and I was stretching myself. So I use this. This is a rubber band,
Hmm.
and I stretch it, and I'm thinking I'm just doing the minimal.
Yeah. Ooh,
Realize that I can stretch even more, and then I can stretch up ways, down ways, and everything else. So you gave me a little bit more confidence to stretch even more. So I thank you.
yes.
So those
Oh,
homeworks was no joke.
I know. I'm always just like, oh my gosh, I hope that no one's like, oh my gosh, she's getting on my nerves. She's making me do more. But it's already there. You already know. Like you said, God told you that there was more. So sometimes it's just that voice of like confirmation to do the things that you already know God told you to do. So I'm glad that you were able to work through it, because sharing about your life, your own personal journey, it's never easy putting it on paper for everyone else to read.
Right, judgmental.
Exactly. It's like putting yourself on display. So, what advice would you give to an aspiring writer who's thinking about sharing personal moments in their own book of overcoming? What would you say to give them that motivation that they can do it too?
Right, right, right. I don't care if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever is on your mind. And if you already have those journals, 9 out of 10, there's a couple of books that's in those journals.
Yes.
Um, and have a team, because even before I met you, I had trust issues because I pay a lot of money out for a publisher, and it didn't come to pass, and he wouldn't give me my money back.
Mhm.
So pray about it, and then just let God put those people, places, and things in front of you, and everything else. But just keep on writing, and doesn't worry about it. If you only can do one person, somebody's gonna heal for me.
Yes, but that one person may go and impact 1,000 more people,
Yeah,
and it's just, you know what I mean? That's just the way that the cycle goes. So I love that. Even if it's just one person, do it anyway. Your purpose is not just for you. And you say something like that in your book. I don't want to share too much. We want people to go and pick up the book and read it for themselves. But somebody's purpose is waiting on you. So
right,
yeah.
right, and that's what it was. Is and then because I'm a writer, and I every time I have a notebook, I write those things in the journal sections. I did that by hand every single time.
Yes.
And so all the stuff that I'm sharing, I did the same exercises. Saying it's more exercises, but I did those exercises. I did the stuff that you see in the journal. I did that. I still do that. I still do this to this day. I have my my vision board. I already did my vision board for 2025 because it ended. It 2024 is ended. So I'm preparing myself for the next season. So we always should be preparing ourselves and everything else, and just know that God giving you what you working on now is for the next season. It's not for the now season. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. So let's ask this question this way. What's one thing that you want readers to walk away with after reading your book?
to love yourself, to love your totally self, the good, the bad, and the ugly. How can you be in a relationship when you don't know how to love yourself?
Yeah,
How can you love your kids when you don't know how to love yourself?
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And if it's gonna be, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be easy because life is not easy.
All right.
But once you start loving everything about yourself, you know, so it's like my aha moment was to really to do this is because I was a self harmer. A lot of people didn't know. I was a self harmer, and I was like, oh, and then I was like, I had to name my self harm positive stuff to get
Mm-hmm.
over it. Once I got older, I'm like, and I used to lie. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm from down south. That's why I talk like that. Oh, I was. Oh, yeah, I burned myself. But then
Okay.
once I start accepting it, no, I was a self harmer. Say, no, this is my way I talk. Once I started accepting, I shouldn't say bad, but accepting the total self of yourself, I
Okay.
start loving myself
Yeah.
more. You know what I'm saying? If you don't love the total self, how can anybody love yourself? And there's
Right.
a difference between in love and loving yourself. So I started being in love with myself. I took myself to dinner, get all dressed up.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I really went. And this time, I really went in. It was no more playing with God. Whatever God told me to do, I just did it. I just gave him a total yes, and I do it all the time. You know, what do you want me to wear, God? Like I gave him all after all, even a little 2% of it. I'm
Yeah.
giving it all to him.
Yes. Yeah, and that's important. He created us, right? So why
Yeah,
wouldn't we give it all back to him? And he can
yeah,
help us like with the self-love and confidence and those things, the hurdles that we have to overcome. So I appreciate you sharing that very transparent moment with us. I know that that's never easy for a lot of people to talk about, but you may just help one or two people that are listening to be able to start to love themselves just a little bit more and embracing every part of themselves to really heal. So I
yeah.
appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, and that's why it's embrace yourself, embrace me, embrace your the real me.
Yeah.
You can't fake it. After a while, you can't fake it no more.
Yes. So what's next for you and your author brand? What's next for you?
Oh, well, I'm working on two books now.
Yes.
One of them is, don't quit. Because once you start knowing yourself, you can't quit. So I'm working on a workbook on that, and then I'm working on a book about me and my son's disability.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't really talk about mental illness,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no services was out there. So him growing up with it, and him now as an adult with it. So yeah, so yeah, I'm busy with that. And then with my I've been also been doing a lot of speaking engagements
Yeah.
because of my self love and self esteem. I'm doing, going into high schools and teaching them about leadership, goal settings. Saying I was like, wow, I never thought about that. But somebody came up to me and was like, I was like, okay, cool. He's like, so I've been doing that. You know, um, so it's so much, you know, because I started. That's all
Right.
you need. Just, saying, just start. And
Yeah.
doors started open up, and I'm getting paid. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a little bit of money, but I'm getting paid. Like, I never thought that I would get paid for this. So it's like, never, never, you never thought something, but we always think small. But
Yeah.
I'm just doing it, and I'm
Yeah.
loving it, and I'm teaching special needs kids first time, and people on the spectrum
Okay.
how long, how to wear pads.
Oh,
Saying I came up with that. Saying because I was find out that was a need. Like just because we have stuff, it doesn't mean that we don't know how to use it.
yeah. I love that. I love that. You are definitely an advocate. So I know that when you say yes, those doors they start to open when you say yes. But you got to take that first step and say yes. So I'm so proud of your yes. So keep going, keep showing up.
Thank you, thank you, and
Yes,
same to you because your door is going to be open. It's open even more. So.
I appreciate that. Yes, ma'am. So how can we connect with you on social media and all the amazing things that you have going on?
All right. Well, I don't have a website as of yet, but you can follow me at Facebook at author Cheryl Lynne, Lynne, 2 words, or Embrace with Wuv L.L.C. And you can always and IG Embrace with Wuv L.L.C. And just hit me up, and I'm an open book. And on Facebook on Thursdays at 8 o'clock, I do a live called Cheryl Corner. You can ask me about anything about my journey, about my faith walk, or anything. I'm just an open book. I don't mind being open and vulnerable because
Yeah.
somebody needs it.
I love that. Well, thank you for taking this time to show up and share with us and sharing your vulnerability. So I always end the show with one last question, and that is what impact do you want your voice and your author brand to leave on the world?
Hmm. That anyone that pick up my workbook, journal, to embrace yourself, embrace the process of it. Everybody's journey is different. To trust the journey, whatever that look like for you. Um, I hope and pray that this could be a life skill book for anybody that's out there, schools or anything else. Just embrace it, what I'm saying, and actually do the work. If you put 20% in it, you're going to get 20% out of it. So just actually be true for yourself, and be truthful for yourself, because those questions is, what I'm saying, you have to be truthful for those. So be truthful.
Yes, yes.
That's
I love that. I love it. Well, thank you so much. Make sure, listeners, that you do connect with Cheryl on social media. Follow her page on Facebook so that you can see the live that she does every Thursday. She's going to get real and show you how to embrace the real you. I think that's really important in order to walk in the fullness of who you are. As always, make sure that you share, subscribe, and leave us a comment of the show. Um, and then until next time, take care.
Take care. Thank you.